Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do an action pose where a person is coming down upon the person looking up. So a person either jumping down and yes, actually jumping down and landing. But it's from there's foreshortening, there's a lot of perspective here. So we are going to start with the placement of the frame first. Now the things that are in the foreground first and in immediate view are the feet. So feet and legs, because those are the ones that a person normally lands on, unless the person is landing on the head and took a tumble. That is a different, but this is a controlled landing. So controlled jump or controlled landing. So we draw one huge foot as the main guideline. The other one we will go about placing in just a second. And we work our way backwards. So as you see that almost a large part of the area has been covered just by this leg and this foot. So as we mentioned, there will be a lot of foreshortening here. So that is the butt area, and we go up around here. The body is essentially not hunched forward, but a little like backward curl is always there in this kind of a pose. So sort of a like partial crunch, or even more of a crunch, but partial crunch in this case, because the legs are now being extended as a person is coming down, and or at least that is the impression, that eventually the person has to either land on legs which are partially bent or straight on the legs. So that is the head right there, tucked right over the shoulder set, and the chest. The chest is right here, the ab structure right here, and there will be, as we mentioned, a crunch, delt area, and we'll do different things with the arms in a second. So the other foot, we will either go like that, like right, so it's behind, this is in the foreground, this is in the background. So knee and foot, again not too much longer than that, and we go and place the other foot right here. Or we will be doing different things. We will be also extending this here and bringing the leg and foot backward and putting a foot here. So either of those things might like look good in this pose, and we'll start by making the frame a little more solid here so that we can look at our options. So there's the head. It need not move because we think it's ideally placed here. But we'll be doing a few different things with the arms and legs, and the curvature and the placement of the torso need not change either. It remains as it is. And we go into the calf, shin area, and we have a foot right there coming toward the viewer or toward the camera. Now this can also be like a stomping action. So if somebody like really top heavy and like the Hulk coming down and stomping on somebody, that's also one scenario that this can be used for. The arm right here, and we can make this a little more dynamic as we go. So this arm tucked behind this knee and going somewhere around here, and we can go like that. So fingers, thumb, and there is one arm placement. The other arm, depending on how we want to show the framework of this person or what character it is. Let's actually do the one of the legs here also, so that it's, so most of the leg is behind that foot, and we just come around it. We have to understand that that foot is placed slightly differently than this one. This one is like more outward and coming in. That one is a slight swinging the other way somewhat, but still quite large, and that will actually do it. And here we can just put in an open hand, we can put in a fist, and it's up to us how we want to play around with this. Now the different options come in with this rather very useful pose. Actually, it's in pop culture, in different media, this pose is used very often for different characters. So we are doing a fist in this case right here, and putting the arm out like that, and it need not be hunched like upward, like it could be, but if it is like drooping a little down and the going that way, it's also okay. And this arm, to coincide with this, could be raised up a little bit, and a fist could be formed. So perhaps if it's again a Hulk-like character who's trying to trounce on things and jump, it can come like right down. And there's the fist pumps showing that he's gearing up to land and cause some damage. And these can be hunched up as well in that case, because if it's like a stomping thing where an effort is being made to do a crunch and then lash out with the legs once they land, then you could place this higher. And come around there some. That should actually do it, if it just comes and sits there. And similarly, this can be raised up as well to place somewhere here. But we spoke about the leg going backward as well, so we can also come right back, still show the sole of the other foot, not as big as this because this is farther away from the viewer, but still enough in the foreground to appear bigger than the rest of the body, and the leg can go that way and join here. And we can also have the arms again flat out. We can put in a fist again, so flat out arms with a fist, or we could just use one of these other ones that we can employ. The arms can also, in this very inventive pose, go right up. So if we were to make the legs more straight, then in that case the natural instinct would be to have the arms go right up. Now we do not necessarily have the space here in this case because that was not the part of the plan. That hand might actually be contained into the frame a little more, but they can go upward. So we'll just grab a marker to make this a little more clean, to highlight one preferred pose, and we will go with this one that we pretty much put out right in the beginning, and we hope that it will show a little more clearly, because this has become a bit of a mess when we are working with different options. But let's hope that we can just highlight the primary frame that we started with enough to revisit that initial pose. So thank you very much for watching. Please do try it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's very, very useful, a very useful action pose for different purposes. Please subscribe, keep in touch, have yourself a wonderful day.